greatest show in the history of the internet on right now. Out of Bounds. Hello, JayMarZZ. Back with you for another exciting episode with a mother rock star today.
Holy shit. We're cursing already.
Ryan Starr, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
How is life?
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That was quite the intro.
You know,
use that.
There's a reason why we call this show Out of Bounds, because we do just that. We go out of bounds. It's not your traditional interview.
Love it.
Just have some fun, talk about personal life, all sorts of good stuff.
Cool.
Things you may have seen, may have not seen, things you don't usually want to tell people you've seen, but we try to get you to tell people you've seen. Make sense?
Uh-oh. I should leave now.
All right. So let's go back to Rockstar.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee. I've always wondered, what is it like to work with that human being? Because he's an interesting character.
Man, that was a while ago. That experience was it's one of those things. I was an indie rock guy in New York City. So at the time I was like hitting that ceiling of cool, I'm selling out venues in New York. That's an accomplishment. I'm making music I'm really proud of. What's next? And at the time it was like, well, TV is an option because like that gets you in the living rooms of millions of people. So as self-contradicting as it sounds, to be an indie guy to go on some mainstream television show.
You're a sellout, bro.
I preferred self-contradicting, but
sellout. That's what the hipsters call it, right, Sandra? Sellouts? Sandra's a hipster, our camera girl. You guys can't see
super
her.
Right? I live in the epicenter of hipsters in Brooklyn. So, I'm aware of the connotations here. But it was, the truth is, as a musician, whatever you want to call it, the truth is like it's like you just want to get your message and your voice out there. So I thought that was a realistic way of doing it. It happened to be like, it wasn't like an American Idol kind of show. It was like a real rock and roll show. That. Yeah, it was a real rock show, and like I'm with Tommy Lee, who didn't grow up with him on posters on the wall. Not me really, but like
Tommy Lee posters, no Motley Crue stuff going on.
I had like Darryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden posters.
Dude, I
and
have
Michael Jordan.
Okay, well, I'm a Dodgers fan, so I actually have a Darryl Strawberry throwback Dodgers jersey. I'm sure you are a Mets fan.
It's amazing.
Obviously.
Wow, Dodgers. Yeah, we were Mets fans back in New York. But it was cool. It was cool to be able to play in front of that many people for the first time in my life, to like get out there and get the word out there. It was a circus though to be a part of such a like dysfunctional like world of TV and personas and fakeness. I'm from New York. It's like all about keeping it real. And that was the farthest thing from real I've ever seen in my life. And I saw people change like that, like an ounce of fame, and you're like, dude, like.
So, as a guy that's in the business, when you see people change like that, what's it make you think? Like, is this really what I want to do? Like, am I just gonna be caught up in this world? Like, how does that affect you? You know what I mean?
I credit my mom for like, she'll come to the studio and I'll be with like, I'm working with one of the biggest producers in the world or whatever, and she'll come and be like, that noise right there, but it's a lot of tune. Like, she'll pick something apart. We're even like the strongest, biggest, successful guy in the world, be like, start questioning himself. So
right.
I think having that family thing, that rock, keeps you from drifting off into space yourself, which is really important, I think, in anything you do. But it's disturbing to see like people, especially on these TV shows, like we celebrate when you're a kid, you learn don't judge people, don't do anything.
Right.
And like then we celebrate in this country, like our biggest successful shows are like judging shows. It's like don't
this
judge,
is true.
But then, like if you want to be really successful, judge a lot.
That's actually a very successful point, and a lot of people. My favorite thing I ever hear is only Jesus can judge me, or only God can judge me. That's actually bullshit. Anybody can judge you.
You're judging me right now, I bet.
I'm not judging you necessarily. I'm judging the experience of you being judged.
It's true. It's kind of like sickening. So being a kid that's like just wants to be real and like come from New York where like we just say it how it is, it was like really weird to be a part of something like that. But for the sake of music and like my purpose of like getting out there and wanting people to hear the music and as many people as can hear the music, that for me I endured such torture, to be honest. That's like the truth.
So another really cool thing that happened to you, you had to actually open up for Bon Jovi a few years back.
Yeah, man.
Big Bon Jovi guy here.
Yeah.
Talk about that experience.
Fuck, man. He's first of all, the thing I took away from that, look, we're playing the MGM Grand,
right?
Like in Vegas. I'm staying in a hotel, and like my pictures on the wall. It's like, wow, this is awesome. I relate to that story. You know, the Springsteen in me, the Jovi, that working man, like just keep working hard and get it. Like story always relates to me. I think a lot of my fans react, and I, you know, I share parallels to those kinds of artists where we're just doing it and working and getting the word out. That for me was amazing because you're getting to play in front of these people in these huge concerts, and the other thing was realizing like how cool he is. Like honestly, like people might not
John,
know.
who I'm good.
Yeah, like how super cool John Bon Jovi is. Very hip on like what's going on in music, even in you know in all walks of life. In
Right.
music. And he's you know, it's not a lot of people can say like, yo, they've written songs that like you walk into a bar, and like they play that song and everybody halts the drink and like looks, you know that's a dream. Like that's a dream. There's only a few songs that do
Living
that.
on a prayer, man.
You know, right?
Right there. Anytime that comes on, whether
Yeah.
you're in a bar, club, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, that's that song.
It totally is, man, and that's amazing to be a part of that culture, you know, in this world. So we got friendly. The cool thing is, one of the tracks, actually, it's a B-side on this new album, Angels and Animals, called "Never Stop Me," and I was writing the song, and I thought, man, this is like, I think this might have, from my experiences playing these giant concerts with him, and going around and learning. I wrote this song and I was like, man, it's got like a thing to it. It's got one of those feelings. Like I was like, I should call John and maybe work on this song. So I went to his place, and so this amazing apartment.
I'm sure it's pretty nice.
Imagine, you know, he's got like the movie theater, like the Fonz. He like hits the thing, the wall opens
Wow.
up. It's amazing. And we wrote a tune together, which was like really awesome to watch the process, because a guy like that has had so much success, and you realize when he's singing and writing, he's singing to the back seat, he's singing to the arena, and it kind of reprogrammed me to think that way when I'm writing songs sometimes. So it was kind of cool.
What kind of ass does John Bon Jovi still pull on these tours? Like, is he going for the younger chicks, or is he going for those like cougars that have grown up with him that are all Botoxed out with the fake boobs?
I wouldn't know. You know, the cool thing about him is his story is he's married to his high school sweetheart, which is really sweet. So now you're an asshole. And
that's actually a common.
No.
Yeah.
But you like
You're not telling anybody anything they don't already know.
I think he likes his good wine, you know, good rock star and drinking good wine. I think that's probably his vice on the road or something. But you know, he seems like, honestly, he seems like a good dude, and I've been blessed to be around some of these guys, the older generation of like music that
real
paved the
rock
way.
stars.
Yeah, to see them in the flesh and to like learn what they've done. And the crazy thing is, no matter who I'm friends with, you know, you hear stuff from like Springsteen's crew or any of these guys that have been there, and you're like, they wouldn't know where to start. I've met like some of the greats that are in the history.
So you got to drop Billy Idol's name on me?
No, I was gonna say, like, as a Long Island guy, like
Okay.
Billy Joel came to
Billy
my
Joel.
shows, right?
That's awesome.
And like he's just going, man, this is great. It's like you look at them like, cool, man. Well, you've been there and you're like the most successful guy ever. Like, what's your advice? You know, stuff. And they can't tell you. They don't know. They know how they did it and it just worked, but there's no advice these guys can tell us. We're kind of on our own out here, like, you know, just making noise whichever way we can.
Well, it's kind of interesting, too, because the whole rock and roll dynamics obviously changed over the years. And it almost seems like, to me, I definitely don't want to use the word dead because that would be inappropriate. But the word rock star seems to, like, it's not just rock and roll anymore. Rock stars are in hip-hop. Rock stars are in the country scene.
Yeah, it's an attitude.
It is an attitude. So kind of describe how having that attitude is in 2014. Because it's a lot different than the rock stars that we were talking about, like Bon Jovi, Springsteen.
Absolutely. You know, I look at, for example, I listen to Kesha, for example, and I go, man, that's punk rock. That's punk rock. Like she's playing the music that your parents, if you're a young kid and you're like 12 listening to, your parents are pissed that you're listening to, like, you know, that this kind of thing. So I think there is, you know, the actual words and the music that matched it is no longer. I think once you make rock in a box, once you could like press that GarageBand plug in to say rock 60s rock 7, rock's dead. Like rock, that's not even the word anymore. So I think I look at some people making waves and just being them and being who they are, and that's rock to me. And I think I could sit at the piano and play something more intense and heavy, you know, here than if I put distortion on 20. Like that's played a little bit. So that's what this new album is for me. It's a very rock album in the sense that, not in the sense that it's like rah rah rah, but it's fucking real and it's from the heart, and that's what rock's supposed to be, just bleeding, like not fabricating these pop things as much as bleeding from what's within you, to me, that's rock.
Well, that's real music in general too. So let's talk a little bit about the project, title of it, when can we expect it? Who are some of the people that have been working with you closely on this?
Cool, man. Well, this album, I actually I was on tour with my band for 4 years, put this great, act together. We slept on floors together, drove the country a few times, and it meant a lot to bring them into the creative mix here. So I basically came back to my apartment in Brooklyn with the idea that I wanted to make an album and not just singles and singles. This is a concept album called Angels and Animals. It's a story, of the battle within, that we're all a little bit angel, we're all a little bit animal.
This is true.
And maybe
some a
a little more. Yeah.
See the horns coming up?
So I started it back to where my core is, which is my piano, which in New York, space is tight. So the piano also acts as my dining room table. And
there's multiple uses for the piano.
Absolutely, bed. And started writing songs the way I used to as a kid, and just kind of hugged the idea of what does this song mean, what's the story I want to say, and what's my message. So started there in my little production space, did a little stuff, and then blew it up into bringing the band in, and we went to a studio and lived up there for a few months, where some of my favorite Brooklyn bands like The National just recorded there, and really got these great sounds, and took the time to not just program some prefabricated sounds that I don't know what the intentions were when they were made. I really wanted this album to have intention. I wanted it to be everything made sense and had
basically
a purpose.
you have your creative juices behind this album. That's the sense I'm getting from this. This is your album. This isn't something that someone at a record label is telling you to do or pushing. This is you.
Oh yeah, we told everyone to fuck off, to be honest. And I said, there's an album I want to make, and I pretty much self-produced it with a buddy of mine that I grew up with, and really kept it all in house and shut everybody out for about 6 months. And didn't let anyone hear anything until, literally just got mastered yesterday. We're releasing on iTunes on the 13th of January. Release show in New York City, Bowery Ballroom on the 14th. And this is it. This is untainted, unfiltered, artist album.
Which is what I think we're kind of going back to. I think as we're getting older, it seems like artists are starting to put more power into themselves and kind of telling record labels if they want, hey, fuck off, I'm going to do this. I have a fan base. I can make my money this way.
Well, you know why, man? It's a good point you make, because back in the day, I heard Moby talk about this, which is, back in the day, a record company could say, hey, man, if you do this, then you can make you could sell tons of records, and we'll get behind this in a huge way. Now, they're like, if you do this, we really can't sell records, and we have no idea how to get things out anymore. I think you might have a better idea than us. Right. So we're like, fuck off, man. We'll make the record, we'll make the music. Just follow our lead.
And you keep all the profits from it.
Yeah, follow our lead.
There's no middleman.
It's a little bit like that, And
I think that's great because, again, it allows artists to be artists. We get more. And as a radio station, we get to see you guys come more, talk to us, promote what your stuff is. So I think it actually works better for the music industry in general.
Yeah, man, look what we're doing right now.
This is what I mean. We're out of bounds.
Yeah.
We said like 13 times. That's amazing.
Let's go for 14.
Go for it.
Well,
good one.
I just want to say how psyched that I'm here with you f***ing around and having a great time.
We are out of bounds. My guy Ryan Starr, get the album dropping soon.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it, brother.